So if you've been making your own handmade masks, but you find that they're a little bit hard on your ears, stay tuned and I'll show you how to make these really easy to sew button headbands that you can put the elastic on, and they'll help take the strain off your ears. Welcome to Craft with Catherine. So today I'm going to be walking you through how to make these really easy to sew button headbands. Everyone is wearing fabric face masks right now, or community masks, whatever you want to call them. And the problem is, if you are wearing them for a few hours a day, they can be really hard on your ears. So a really easy solution is to just sew some buttons just behind your, on a headband, just behind your ears, and then you can strap the elastic over the button instead. So I've created this really easy to sew pattern. You can use old t-shirts. The headbands are made from stretchy jersey fabric. So this was an old t-shirt that I never wore anymore just because I wasn't crazy about the green. And these are some cheap t-shirts I picked up at Walmart for just a couple dollars. You can always find them in the clearance section. And I also got the buttons at Walmart. And so I'll make sure to leave a link below of all the materials that I used. And if you have been watching my videos and you've been enjoying the content, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. It really helps out my channel. And so if you are looking for the pattern, it's a free pattern that you can get on my blog. You can find the link in the description. So now let's get started. So here I have some t-shirts. I don't live close to a fabric store, so for the jersey knit, I just went to Walmart and I got these from the men's section. I got extra large so I could have lots of fabric, and I already had this one in my cupboard. I never use it because I just don't really wear green that much, but I think it would make a really nice headband. I also got a few big buttons. So these are all around 22 or to 20 millimeters. You're going to need the pattern. So I'll put a link below. It's a free pattern and you can find it in my resource library on my blog. You're going to need a rotary cutter. I'd recommend some ballpoint needles. These are special for knitting jersey. You're also going to want a cutting mat. Mine's all old and dirty and used up because I always use it for painting, but it's still a good way to protect my surfaces, so I can use the rotary cutter. And you're also going to need some coordinating thread, and you can also get a walking foot for your sewing machine, and that will help for sewing jersey fabric. So you just want to lay down the jersey fabric onto your cutting mat, and then you place the pattern with the fold along here. And now we're just going to cut it out. So it's a square, so I'm just using the straight edge and the rotary cutter. So that cut out really nicely. And now it's just a rectangle piece. Now I'm going to open up the rectangle and I'm going to fold it together, right sides together. And just pinning it in place. So I've got my coordinating thread loaded into the sewing machine, and now I'm going to zigzag stitch along the edge. So here I have the finished tube. So now I'm just going to turn it inside out. So I'm just going to lay this with the seam along the center, and now I'm going to press the fabric. Now it's got a nice press to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it a tiny bit inside out, like just press down the edge. So I'm just eyeballing it, so about couple millimeters, just so I can see it's straight. And now I'm going to bring this into the inside of the tube, and I'm just going to finger press it so that it looks straight. And then now I'm going to sew along here. So now I'm just going to sew along the edge. So here is the finished headband. You can see it's super fast and easy to make, and it's a great way to use up old t-shirts. And because of the zigzag stitch, it will stretch when you wear it. So it's really important to do a zigzag stitch. So now the next step is just to attach the button. So I'm just going to go 4 inches up, and I'm just going to put a pin just as like a marker, and then repeat that on the second side. And now I'm going to choose a button. So I'm going to go with the clear ones. So here I've just threaded a needle, and now I'm going to just, instead of knotting the thread, I'm just going to sew it through a tiny stitch 2 or 3 times and that way the thread will catch the fabric that way, and then you don't have to have like a bulky knot. And then I'm just going to thread the button through. Make sure that it's like nice and centered. And then just going to sew it 2 or 3 times. Great, so now instead of going through the needle, I'm going to go underneath the button. Now I'm going to wrap the thread around 3 times, and now I'm going to catch the fabric a tiny little bit and sew that through 2 or 3 times. And you can go through the loop. Just going to trim that away because it'll be fine. And there the button's been attached. Now I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. So here are the 3 final headbands. So I added the brown button to the orange, and I used the black button on the black one. I didn't want to put the black with the orange just because I thought it might look a little Halloween-y. And I put the clear button on the green one. So I'm really happy with how these turned out, and I hope that you found the tutorial helpful. And so make sure to subscribe and leave a comment below, and visit my blog for the free pattern, and I'll see you next time.